الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد: أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين فذلك الذي يدع اليتيم ولا يحض على طعام المسكين فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون الذين هم يراءون ويمنعون الماعون. صدق الله العظيم. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: إنما الأعمال بالنيات. أما بعد. We begin by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most worthy of praise, and we send abundance, peace and blessings on the chosen one, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the most perfect of creations, the most perfect of worshippers. In Surah Al-Ma'un, this is a very small surah, and a lot of people, they know this surah. A lot of people that memorize the surah, they say it in their salah, but if we take a look into what Surah Ma'un says, you will really get the definition of what a true Muslim is. Because it will tell you everything that a Muslim is not. So far with me? So you will get the definition of a Muslim because it will tell you everything that a Muslim is not. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, أَرَأَيْتَ الَّذِي يُكَذِّبُ بِالدِّينِ. Have you seen the one who denies the deen? What does deen mean? There are two meanings of deen. One, we have Maliki Yawmiddin, right? Allah is the master of what? The Day of Judgment. So deen means Day of Judgment. But also deen means your religion, right? So Allah is saying, have you seen the one that denies the Day of Judgment and religion? Have you seen that person? And who is this referring to? This is one of the earliest surahs of this is one of the earliest revelations of Islam. In the first year, maybe the beginning of the second year of revelation. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He starts by, look at the one who denies the Day of Judgment. Look at the one who denies religion. Now, why is this important? I've said this in the past, that if you believe in justice, you have to believe in the Day of Judgment. Because nothing about this world has justice in it. This world is inherently unjust. So if you believe that justice is something that is important and something that has to be upheld, your only, consolidation and conclusion of this world is that there has to be justice at the end of it. Because why? Look, people are born. Someone is born rich, someone is poor, and someone is born poor without any say of their own. A kid is born in Syria or a kid is born in Yemen who will grow up in poverty and probably die by the age of 15 because of malnourishment. Meanwhile, a kid is born in America, the opposite situation, will probably grow to be obese, right? Because that is our problem, right? We have surplus of food, right? What fault was either of the kids? None. So if you believe in justice, right, you have to believe in the Day of Judgment. Because either there is no justice, or there is a Day of Judgment. So Allah is saying, look at the one who denies the Day of Judgment. And what does this effect have? Because if you deny the Day of Judgment, what did I just say? You basically don't believe in justice, right? And this is talking about people in a general sense. Obviously, there are people who have a sense of justice. It may be flawed, right? But they don't believe in the Day of Judgment. And those are exceptions. This is talking people in general sense. Those who look at the one who denies the Day of Judgment. أَرَيْتَ الَّذِي يُكَذِّبُ بِالدِّينِ فَذَلِكَ الَّذِي يَدُعُّ الْيَتِيمَ. That is the one who pushes away the orphan. That is the one who pushes away the orphan. The person who denies the day of judgment. Why? Why does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say this? What can you get from an orphan? If you do something good for an orphan, can that orphan give you anything back? No. Right? Like you will be doing it solely for the sake of Allah, solely because you believe that on the day of judgment Allah will reward you. Right? So this was, if you deny the day of judgment, you are more susceptible to pushing away the orphan. Now look at our society as a whole. Right? Does it make sense in this day and age that Yemen is going through what it is going through? Does it make any sense? Saudi Arabia is right there next to it, right? And still, Yemen is in poverty. Yemen's children are dying. America is here. We live in America. We have a surplus of food. So much food goes to waste, right? And kids are dying there. Does that make sense logically? No. But what is the reason? Because people have gone away from belief. They're starting to push away the orphans. Right? And what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say in the next ayah? فَذَلِكَ الَّذِي يَدُعُّ الْيَتِيمَ وَلَا يَحُضُّ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ, and does not encourage the feeding of the poor. Because again, the people who do this, they are conscious of Allah. There are people who have a sense of God. There are people who are God conscious, and they look at every single one of their actions and see how it will affect them on the day of judgment. Islam is a religion in which the physical manifests in the spiritual, and the spiritual manifests in the physical. What that means, our actions affect who we are and the person we are. And the person we are affects our actions. We don't believe them to be separate. So, there are people who say, I'm just going to do good things. I'm not going to believe. Right? Okay, you can do that. But that's not us. Because we believe the two have to be connected. You can't just be doing good things and it have no effect on you, or doing bad things and it have no effect on who you are. And you can't be a good person without having any proof. Right? Something has to show that you're a good person. Your action will show. And this is why in Islam, and this is the whole concept of tasawwuf, and connecting your spiritual state with your physical state. And making it so that you do everything as if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching you. Ittaqullah, have taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? This is what being a Muslim is about. And Allah is telling us, look at the one who denies the day of judgment. He pushes away the orphans. He does not encourage the feeding of the poor people. Right? Because this is the effect. Disbelief in the day of judgment and disbelief in justice has. If you believe, and there are people who say, look, the world is just unfair, so be it. Well, that's not what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. He's saying it is unfair. But there is a day of judgment and you will be held accountable. So don't just say, so be it. Do what you can to benefit others. Do what you can to benefit others. Our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was an orphan. We as Muslims should be taking care of orphans like no one else does. You know how many orphans there are in society that live in shelters, that live a life without parents? The fact that we Muslims are present and that is a reality, that is shame upon us. What will the Prophet say, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to us as Muslims? You were my ummah and you did not take care of the orphans when I told you to take care of the orphans. When I was an orphan myself. When I told you the one who takes care of the orphan will be with me on the day of judgment like this. And he held up two fingers together. That is the rank of taking care of an orphan. So this is the reality. And you know what?